Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Imaginary Boys. I am one of the two hosts, Mr. Habanero, and I have my secondary, big, sexy, delicious man, Mr. Lettuce. How are you doing, Mr. Lettuce?
I don't know if I would call myself delicious.
Uh,
Big and sexy, sure, but I don't know. I don't know if I go for delicious.
tasty, steamy treat of a delicious man.
I don't know, man. I might taste like I mean, I mean, you obviously suck toes, so you know what that tastes like.
Like that. I
might
did
taste
tell
like
you that story, right? The toe sucking story.
Possibly.
That was yeah.
But I was referencing your bacon video.
No, I knew what you were talking. I knew what you were referencing. It's just because I've
toe funk.
So like I have like I have one kind of story about toe sucking and a second definite not so wonderful to reflect upon story about toe sucking. The first one was I actually my first really serious girlfriend that I ever had liked having her, she was into like toe stuff. So
Okay.
that's kind of what that was all about. And there's not going to be any other stories than the acknowledgement of that was a thing.
I mean, I'm willing to tongue punch a butthole. So
I mean, you're like, that's fine, man. I fully support face sitting, and I have no arguments against that whatsoever.
So if you want to put a toe in my mouth, that's fine.
Yeah, that's kind of.
If it tastes like, I mean, if it tastes like fake bacon, I'm gonna have some questions about your cleanliness, and that's probably as far as we're gonna go.
That also just reminded me that I had a different girlfriend who she wasn't about toe sucking or anything like that, but I remember that the first time she saw my bare feet, she thought they were sexy because I have high arches. So yeah.
Dainty little ballerina feet.
I do. Well, that's the thing. She was a ballerina. So she thought like I'm dead serious. She was a ballerina.
So she's like, you dance too?
Well, she was a ballerina and a cheerleader. And she was somebody who did intense training in that kind of stuff. And the first time she saw my feet, she was like, "Whoa, it's kind of getting me going." I'm like, "Damn, girl, calm yourself." So yeah, I'm not flat-footed. I have very high arches on my feet. And the other one is, and there's a few people who know this story pretty well because I have a couple of friends who may or may not listen to the podcast who were actually held witness to it. Was I one time got so wasted that I got blackout drunk at a party. And while I was blackout drunk at that party, one of the things that occurred in my drunk stupor that I don't remember, but people from that party were more than happy to tell me that I did, was apparently I sucked on some people's feet while I was very, very, very drunk. So there you go.
I mean, we've all done weird things while drunk. I mean, I haven't.
Because you're perfect, of course.
Well, no.
It's okay, man.
I'm again a Pro Bowler and a Hall of Famer when it comes to consuming the alcohol. So before, and I've always been kind of like an individualist drunk.
Sure,
I still am to this day. I don't get that drunk around a lot of people, but I had a lot of experience consuming of the alcohol before doing it in front of people.
Sure.
So like people are getting wasted and doing random shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't.
That's okay, man. That's
like,
okay.
Like I'm still a handsy drunk, but I mean, the worst thing I think the worst thing I did was like I got kind of like borderline bad,
Okay.
and I think I just ran around hugging people.
That's not so bad though. I mean, I've definitely seen people get a little bit more intense than that, and I myself have some relatively intense moments from being very drunk, so some of them I remember and some of them I don't. So there you go.
I think I was trying to find a good snuggler,
Sure.
and I think I
Sometimes.
found one because I borderline recall kind of just being draped on my friend for a good part of the night while we played games.
That's legit.
Because I'm just like I'm bugging everybody's like, oh, you win, buddy. What? I'm just gonna lay my head on your chest.
Mm.
Yeah, go fish.
That's right. Go fish.
Ah,
Would you say that you might be a little suggestive when you're drunk?
no, I am the suggester when I'm drunk. I get I get super charismatic when I'm
Mm.
I'm drunk.
Okay. All right.
Like I think of myself as a pretty charismatic, uh, pretty kind of high up there person naturally.
Right.
But I think I do take it to like the next step, like when I'm drunk,
Uh-huh.
and this could be me doing a lot of bullshit, but I've been able to convince other drunk people to do my bidding more often than not.
I can be relatively suggestible when I'm wasted, depending on, like, it's like when I get drunk, I have still some relative level of being able to recognize when something works out in my favor to a degree. So, like, somebody can suggest for me to do something and I have a relative capability of being like, yeah, that sounds like something that I'd want to do, so let's go for it. Like, so I mean, I can definitely be kind of, suggestive to a degree. Like, I mean, I definitely can remember some stories of, like, getting drunk with ladies in the past, and they would be like, "Oh, he's totally suggestible. Like, let me get him to see if I can do something like dirty or risque." And I'm like, "That sounds like something that works out in my favor. Let's go." so so to a degree, I can be
I
pretty
get
suggestible.
I
Mhm.
get people uh I get people drunk and then get them to search half the town for a missing hot dog.
I think I remember that story.
Yeah.
So I thought that maybe, like, do you, coming out of alcohol, do you ever find yourself, like, maybe not necessarily more suggestible specifically, but because of alcohol, but do you ever find yourself just, like, suggestible in general? Like, because I was kind of thinking about this across the week, okay? And let me kind of give you a little bit of context here. So, as you all know, to the audience as well as to Mr. Lettuce, I'm a pretty big anime fan. Okay,
Weeb.
yeah, I know. I love me some good anime action, and I was kind of looking around for some new animes that I had not seen, and I stumbled across a couple that were pretty interesting. One of them was an anime that was all about playing like an MMORPG. Like, it was literally a story that centered around a group of friends that they all were friends online in an MMORPG, and they make the choice to meet up in real life, and then they realize that they all happen to be classmates at the same school, and then the whole story basically revolves around them becoming friends in real life and still playing this MMORPG together. And while I was watching it, if I remember correctly, if anybody wants to know, I believe the title was called I think the title was "So You Thought That There Aren't Girls Online," because it centers around ladies playing this MMO with like this guy.
GIRL is an acronym.
Yeah, GIRL. Well, and also that's the thing is because they actually even make fun of the concept of GIRL. Like that's why like I thought the anime was so good is because it was very surprisingly realistic to legitimate MMO online communities. Like it was like it reminded me so much of the days of when I used to be obsessed with the MMORPG that I used to play obsessively as a young teenager. And while watching it, like they did tons of things that were just like, oh my god, that's just like the MMO I used to play. Oh my god, that's just like the MMO. Like, oh, this reminds me of like the wife that I used to have in my guild, or this reminds me of the activities that I used to participate in my guild, or this reminds me of the online money transactions that I used to see go down, or this reminds me of the quest lines that I used to do, and it just kept hitting me in the face with nostalgia over and over and over again for that old MMO I used to play. And what it made me do was I was so taken by it, like, and I was like, oh man, those were like the good old days. Like I remember my guild and all this stuff and all these fun things. That what I did was I decided to go and play that MMO again. And just to try and see if it still felt the same as it did when I was a young teenager.
Did it?
And no, no, not at all. I would even think that the company that handles it has actively ruined their game. Their player base is lower than it ever has been in its entire life. Pretty much nobody plays the game at all. They did this weird thing where, like, over a period of time, the economy in the game used to be hyper inflated. And then I don't know exactly what they did, but they did something that like deflated the economy because they thought that that would be attractive to like bringing in new players. So like what it ended up doing was it made me filthy stinking rich. So like all the prices of everything in the game went way way down, but like the amount of money that I had acquired, which used to be considered like laughable, made me filthy stinking rich. So it was really weird being like coming back into the game after years of not playing it and being like, I can buy literally anything. And I'm like, I'm not used to having that kind of power. But I didn't really spend my money. I still have like a ton of money on the game. I used to be really good at merchanting back in the day on the game. But yeah, it's definitely not the same. Their player base is at an all-time low. And I would even say that they did things that like made the game less fun to play. Because I tried like playing it for a little while recently, and it was such a slog. Like it was actually kind of miserable to play through it.
You know, you want to know something that I've noticed?
What?
Like MMOs are dying.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that from like a few different places over time.
Like the Blizzard thing scared people off of WoW.
Uh-huh.
And everybody's like, well, WoW players all went to Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't think that's 100% true, though.
Well, I wouldn't say all of them. Like, I want to believe that there's probably a good portion of them that just, you know, stop playing MMOs.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think, I honestly think, like, just across the board, a lot of MMOs are kind of just dying. Like,
yeah.
this is...
I think
it's just kind of an interesting trend to think about. Like, because MMOs used to be, like, a big part of gaming.
Yeah, they were. Like
for so very long, and now with everything being a online live service, MMOs have like been replaced with things like GTA 5 Online, live service shooters like a
part of it too, though, is that I think what's really interesting too, though, is that like one of the major flaws that I felt like that I was experiencing when playing the MMO that I'm talking about, for anybody who wants to know, it's called MapleStory, which is like, it's partially embarrassing to say that I was really into it, but at the same time, like, I genuinely had a good time playing that game, so I don't feel too bad about it.
I mean, I played City of Heroes, so...
Yeah, so like we all have those wonky ass games that we played. But I mean, the thing is that like what I think happened, especially to a lot of MMOs, is that a lot of them are like, especially with the one that I was trying to play, it's like they're trying to like optimize the player experience. And one of the things that really made me not like it is that it felt so optimized that it was not fun to be a part of. Like and they overly complicated everything in the game. That it was like when I tried to build a new character to see what it was like from the beginning, it was like they were like, hey, we're going to give you like 100 tutorials that all target different things that are all individually complicated for the purpose of there constantly being content. So that way you never run out of things to do. And it's like, I genuinely like the idea that they want to make it so that there's always something interesting to do. But like, if you're a brand spanking new player and you jump into this game and there's like 100 different things that all have like a complicated step-by-step process to teach you,
You get overwhelmed from the choices and you anxiety right out of the game.
It literally, playing the game again, building a new character after years of not playing, it made me anxious. Like, I was like, there's too much here. Like, there's so much here. Like, and I can't even like go and have the experiences that I remembered enjoying without having.
I couldn't play Witcher 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because like all those like you go into an area and then like there's 5 million question marks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is dense.
Yeah, it's intimidating.
I can't move anywhere.
And like what sucks too is that it's so complicated that you're like, I just want to play the freaking game. So you start skipping stuff. But then the stuff that you skip, you realize that you don't have any power of control within the game because you don't know how to do those things that you chose to skip because it takes like 3 hours to learn how to do that thing. And then you're playing like an unoptimized like character or an unoptimized version of the game that you're trying to play. And it's really like annoying. And another thing that really bugged me too was they like the game used to be that like there was stories and stuff like that, but like you could just kind of like tap enter key and skip stuff, right? Or like, you know, you could choose to slowly read through it if you wanted to, but you could overall just skip everything. Like you're like, just give me the EXP and the money. Like I don't want to read your bullshit, just give it to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
The game, I don't know like when they started doing this, but because it used to be that way where you could just skip and like, you know, like sometimes I would pay attention because I thought the story was kind of interesting, but a lot of the time I would skip it because it wasn't that, you know, evocative. They made so many things in the game now, like in MapleStory, that is just literally unskippable cutscenes. Absolutely 100% unskippable cutscenes. And then like the even worse part is that like there are some things where they have like a dialogue box where you can like, you know, click the next button over and over again. But the way that they have it designed is you can't hotkey the next button for these particular scenes. So like you can't just tap enter over and over again. You have to mouse click it.
Mouse over the next.
And then
nice.
It gets even better though, is that not only do you have to mouse over the next button to click it, but what happens too is that they have it arranged in such a way. This made me so mad. This made me so goddamn mad. Was they have it arranged so that it just so happens that when they give you a choice to accept or decline the quest, there's 2 buttons. There's an accept button and a decline button. The next button to like go to the next thing is also exactly in the same place where the decline button would be if the decline button was there. So like you'll be tapping next like rapidly to like get through the text because it sucks, and then you rapid click decline, and then they make you start over if you want to accept the quest. So So
this is what we would like. This is what we call get nerd.
it's like the worst UI design I've ever seen. It's like just put both buttons away from the next button so that you force me to stop when you're at the end of the dialogue, so that I have to recognize that there's an accept and decline button. Because I'm probably going to want to press the accept button. But, like, the next button is always right where the decline button's going to be. So, like, there have been so many times where I'm, like, force clicking my way through, like, 20 or 30 goddamn speech boxes that don't have a hotkey for next. And then, because I'm so used to clicking it, like, 30 or 40 times, that I then hit decline, and then I have to do it all over again. It's so miserable. It's so miserable. Like, it's like, what are you doing? Oh, man. It was just, and like the unskippable cutscenes. Oh my god. And then like, and then they'd actually like have, like, they have like some cutscenes that are like full blown, like they would get like an animation studio to do a full like rendered like animated cutscene, like it's like straight out of an anime or something. But like they temporarily, whenever they get to that part, they redirect you to an embedded YouTube page to run the cutscene. So, like, some of the cutscenes are built into the game, and, like, some of them are, like, these awkward, like, embedded YouTube pages where they literally take you out of the game and put you on an embedded YouTube page, but somehow it's still, like, freaking connected to the game, so there's still, like, the game UI. It's the weirdest shit. It is the weirdest shit I've ever seen. Like, god damn it, Maple Story, what have you done to yourself? Like, what is this? Oh my god. I was playing it for a few hours last night. And it's just like, oh god, playing any of their story characters, because they have like character classes that are like, oh, this is a character that's name is the name of the character itself. So, like, they remove your individuality as a player because you're the name of the character, even though you're still naming your player something different. But we'll always refer to you by the name of the character that we're telling the story of. And then we're going to put you through, like, 4 freaking hours of, like, cutscenes and tutorials and text boxes that, like, some you can't skip, and the ones that you can skip punish you for skipping them. And then, like, by the time you're through those, like, 4 or 5 hours of, like, tutorials and stuff, like, they just kind of have you, like, grind on a few monsters, and then you're instantly, like, by the end of it, like, level 40, even though you didn't really do anything. It's just like, god damn it. God, like, why? It's nothing like how it used to be when I played it as a teenager. It's nothing like how it used to be. It made me a little sad, to be honest, but so at that point I ended up just booting up one of my old characters that's super high level, has tons of money, and just kind of floated around the new maps, just kind of dicking around and seeing what's going on. And like,
Yeah.
all the channels are empty. Like, I was like, even like the most highly populated channels would be empty. Like, they would be absolutely deserted. There was just nobody online in that game anymore. So, but anyways, I digress. I kind of went into a whole spiel there, but my point is that I watched an anime that kind of like gave me that nostalgia and that suggestion to kind of go back and try the game again after all these years. And on top of that, I ended up watching another anime after that one. that was really good. It was actually much better than the first one that I watched, but it was still like the first one was pretty good, but this one was much better. And it was all about a group of writers that were friends. Like literally they were basically novelists. And the whole anime just kind of centered around this group of friends that wrote novels, and they hung out, and they were adults, which was really nice. It was kind of an adult story about, people, this group of friends that were in their early to mid 20s, and they were all, writers. They wrote books and they lived their lives together. And it was really fun. Like, they would go on adventures of like, just like they would travel, they would write books, they would eat delicious food, they would drink amazing looking alcoholic beverages. And it was just a lot of fun. And when I was watching that one, it kind of like inspired me to go back and try to like write, because I used to love writing a lot. And it kind of just made me realize, like, I was like, man, like, I really miss writing. Like, and this anime is making me realize how much I miss writing and things like that.
Well,
so I kind of, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so I've been kind of like working on that. And like, I mean, I know I'm kind of like talking about these experiences through watching these animes, but it started making me think after having both of those back to back, like watching one anime and then it's all about MMORPGs. So I go and pick up my old MMORPG, and then I watch this other one that's all about writing, and it makes me go back and pick up some of my old writings and start working on them. And it got me thinking, and I was like, am I easily suggestible? Like, am I watching these and they're just kind of barely suggesting the idea of like things that I used to enjoy or things that I have enjoyed before or whatever, and just like, I don't know, like, it's kind of like the idea of like how suggestible can media be, or commercials, or like, because I mean, I always went through a lot of my life thinking like, like I see a commercial on TV and I'm like, I'm not that suggestible. Like, like I see a lot of advertisements and I usually completely ignore them. Like, I mean, I get advertisements for, all sorts of different things that I never buy in my entire life. I don't think I'm that suggestible. But then I watch these animes and it's like, maybe I am really suggestible, but it's got to be to like specific kinds of like content or specific kinds of like things that fit into my natural lifestyle. Like I used to like MMOs, so watching this one about MMOs makes me want to go and do that. Or I used to love writing. I still love writing. I just haven't been into it, and this was kind of inspiring and made me want to go and write again. So do you ever feel like you can watch something like that, and if it like is in tune with your own life, like it makes you feel like you're more suggestible?
So are you ready for a Uncle Lettuce truth nugget there, buddy?
Sure, whatever, man, go. Lay it on me, Unky Lettuce.
Yeah.
Unky Leaf Boy.
Oh, we went there. I walked right into that one.
Give it to me, Unky.
What are you doing, step uncle?
Step uncle?
I mean,
help me, step uncle. I'm stuck in the dryer.
Yeah, no.
I think I have a bottle of lube. Lube me up so that I'll slip out of the dryer.
We just took that right there. And here's the disturbing thing. I'm pretty sure I grabbed your hand and walked you into it.
What, into the dryer?
Yeah. like I grabbed you by the hand and I was like, I'm gonna take you places.
Yeah.
And then we just started skipping merrily along into wherever it is that we are now. So let's go ahead and back out quickly.
Yeah, I love it how you were about to say slowly, and you're like, "No, we need to get the f out of here.
we need to leave, as if as if we never got here. Nobody in the world thinks that advertisement media,
Mm-hmm.
like things they consume, affect them.
Yeah.
Nobody goes out of their, nobody is willing to say, I do not have that control over myself.
Yeah.
Everyone is susceptible.
Right.
The problem is like these advertisers,
Mm-hmm.
like advertisements that make you buy things, shows that make you maybe participate in something that you didn't think you were, that you weren't participating in before, stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
None of these things are making you do anything that you are diametrically opposed to.
Right.
When you're saying like in tune with your life, or in tune with what you're with what, like in tune with yourself, what
Yeah.
you're really saying is this media put an idea inside your head that, like, it's not something that you hate,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that it presented you with this idea, you were like, yeah, I'm gonna follow it.
Yeah.
And everybody has that. And
Right.
to be perfectly honest, it's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody who watches a Taco Bell ad gets a quesadilla and a Baja Blast,
Mm-hmm.
they're not a bad person. They were hungry. They saw an advertisement,
Mm-hmm.
and the problem is the thing is like they saw, like, what they don't realize is that they saw 4 advertisements for something to eat for dinner tonight,
Mm-hmm.
and they made a choice. And they made a choice for the Taco Bell.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's not like that's not you being made to do something against your will.
Mm-hmm.
You, like, subconsciously you were hungry. Like, you were hungry. Subconsciously you were making a what to eat decision, because when you're hungry, that's the first thing your brain does. It's like, well, what is there to eat?
Mm-hmm.
Like, formulates, like, you're hungry, your brain is going to figure out how to fix it.
Right. Right.
And because we live in these wonderful modern times where we can just go into our phone, open up an app, and there is 20 tacos sitting on our doorstep in 20 minutes.
God, I'm so guilty of doing that. It's so not good.
God bless them. God bless Taco Bell, and God bless DoorDash.
Dude, I have been, oh, it's so bad. I've been abusing DoorDash lately. It's not good. It's not good.
I'm subscribed to DoorDash Premium just because
Yeah.
I use it a lot. Like, um,
It's just
when
so convenient when I'm like in the middle of like editing or recording or something, and I'm
oh
like, God
no
damn, I can't like leave my apartment right now because
no
like I'm
no
working on editing, you know? And it's just like I could just open up DoorDash and they'll just put the food on my door and I can keep editing and while shoving food in my face. It's wonderful.
yeah, no, it's wonderful. I'm even worse than that, dude.
Yeah.
Like, my fiance's over, and like, if I didn't specifically plan something to make for her on the weekend,
Hmm.
like, I'll make the like the rookie mistake of asking a woman what she wants to eat.
Slipping, lettuce. You're slipping.
I mean, I know better, but I'd like to pretend like I care.
Well,
Oh, that sounded wrong.
at least you have the ability to pretend. I'm proud of you for that.
Right. Well, the thing is like I know what the answer is going to be, but I'm going to ask anyway because it sounds like she's involved in the decision.
All right, man.
Like, maybe, like, I might get lucky, and she'll actually have like something that she wants, and
Yeah.
she'll think enough of herself to actually say it, because that makes my job easier. Because I'm like, oh, this is what you want. Well, then I have 2 places you can get where we can get that from.
Yeah.
Like, do you prefer, like, I'll ask like another supplemental question that will tie it down to like where we're going.
Right.
Like, uh, my fiance is very much like a 13-year-old girl, in that she loves her chicken tendies.
Tendies.
She loves chicken tendies.
Mhm.
So, like, she'll accept boneless buffalo wings because they're just like they're basically chicken
They're
tendies.
tendies, yeah.
Yeah, they're tendies. Um, but like she's like, anything chicken's good for me. And so I'm like, tendies. Okay. So do you want nuggies or tendies?
Mm-hmm.
Because if she says nuggies, then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get some chicken McNuggets from McDonald's.
Right.
But if she says tendies, I'm gonna fire up DoorDash and put an order in for Charlie's for her for like a chicken tender dinner because
That sounds so good.
they have the best honey mustard ever.
Yeah, that does sound
I
good.
I eat O'Charlie's chicken tenders for the honey mustard because honey mustard's good with their fries too.
Sure, sure.
Like for like $10 you get like four tenders and a side of fries, like
Mm-hmm.
$10,
Right.
and like you get some rolls and you get some rolls with your order.
Not sponsored.
I mean, if O'Charlie's wants to keep like wants to
Hey,
pay me,
dude, yeah.
if O'Charlie's wants to buy me chicken tenders once a week,
you'll show.
like everybody has a line. Mine is incredibly low. Like if I believe in the product,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, okay, fine. Like buy me like give me dinner once a week.
Right, right.
Like once a week, give me like 30 chicken tenders.
After sexy anime pizza, I still am waiting for Domino's to knock on my front door and be like, "Here's a lifetime supply of pizza because of because we love you and you keep buying our pizzas and you have a podcast and you should definitely talk about us all the time." I'm like, "Yes,
Like
Domino's, yes."
I was on the road this week,
Mm-hmm.
and the only place, and I was in a hotel room, a really nice hotel room. I asked for a first floor room, and the only thing that they could give me was an upgraded suite. And
Right.
then they saw my rewards membership, and they're like, okay, we'll just give you the suite for free since no one else is using it.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
God, that's so nice.
I got a free suite upgrade, and
Hell
then
yeah,
like
that's sweet.
and then the problem is like the only like reputable food place in town was a Domino's.
Mm.
So I got one of their bread bowl pastas and a salad.
Oh, so good. I love
Yeah,
Domino's.
it
I
was.
feel I like I love them. Oh, they are like
I mean,
my favorite like fast food pizza chain for sure.
uh, they're my number two,
Okay.
and they're only my number two
Mhm.
because if I'm ordering pizza a lot, like if I'm
Mhm.
like a lot, most of the time I'm ordering pizza, it's because my son decided he wanted pizza for dinner,
Sure.
and that I mean I'm not gonna like he and I can split a large, no problem.
Sure. Sure.
My problem is like he loves stuffed crust, and to be perfectly honest, I kind of love stuffed crust too.
Mhm.
I would love it if Domino's was like, we'll take a crack at doing a stuffed crust, sure.
That's right. They don't do stuffed crust. I forgot about
They're
that.
and at this point, they're the only ones who don't.
That's interesting.
Pizza Hut has stuffed crust as a permanent item.
Yeah, I don't
Papa John's is a permanent stuffed crust.
right.
And Little Caesars,
Ugh, they make me sick. They make my
permanent item. Permanent item is a stuffed crust.
Yeah, Little Caesars makes my tummy sick, which is too bad because I don't think they taste that bad. Like it's not like they gross me out. Like
They
they
use a
taste
very
fine.
they use a whole milk cheese instead of a skim cheese.
Something
So
like that.
their cheese is the best tasting cheese,
Mhm.
but it's also super greasy.
Yeah, it's definitely something about how greasy their pizzas end up being that makes my tummy really ill. So I don't eat because I actually
Yeah.
do have a Little Caesars. Like literally, it's I have a Little Caesars that's closer to me than Domino's is. And like I said, if their pizza didn't make me like sick, I would totally eat Little Caesars. I totally would, but they
Yeah,
make me sick.
because it's $6 for a large cheese, and
That's really cheap. Yeah.
That's really cheap.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, can't beat it. And I mean, if you could stomach it, it's a good deal.
Yeah.
Uh, and like their stuffed crust is only 11, whereas everybody else is like 13, 14.
Right.
So typically, if Xavier says he wants pizza, we'll either go Papa John's, or if I'm like wanting something, if I'm wanting something other than pizza, which oftentimes, like, I'd rather just have like cheesy bread.
Right.
So like the cheese, like the Papa John's cheese sticks are still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially the bacon cheese sticks with their nacho cheese sauce,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
pretty good. But if like I'm feeling the
You
pizza
hold
too,
on. You would dip cheese sticks in nacho sauce,
cheese
like
sauce
nacho cheese sauce, like queso.
yes.
Oh
Well,
my
it's not
god!
it's not necessarily queso. It's like it's because Papa John's. I don't know if you have one.
No,
Uh, okay.
I mean, I've
They
had Papa John's before, but I don't have one near me.
they
Like,
have dipping. You know, they have their dipping cups like everybody has them now.
right?
They put it. They give you garlic butter for your pizza,
Mm-hmm.
but you can get, and like for every item, like every box item you have, you get like one dipping cup.
Right.
But yeah, I'll take my cheese sticks, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll substitute out the garlic butter, because that's just way too much grease and fat.
Yeah, I've had the garlic butter sauce from like Domino's, and like when I did that, it was too much on me and made me
Yeah,
sick. So I just
yeah,
promised myself to not order it again.
yeah. Like it's like for their pizza crust, that's the best way to eat their pizza crust, because
Mm-hmm.
the pizza crust absorbs it and it's actually really good.
Right.
But otherwise, it's just too much oil. Um, they also have like a ranch, or like the typical dipping sauces, but one of them is a cheese sauce, which is kind of like a milder, like the cheap nacho cheese that you get like in the pumps at gas station.
Yeah, they're really gnarly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that gnarly stuff. Yeah, it's like that, a little cup. And the bacon cheese sticks, it's really good with the bacon cheese sticks for some strange reason. So
Mm,
I always sub out my garlic cup for cheese.
mm. Reminds me of like one of the things I like to get at Domino's sometimes is they have like a bacon jalapeno stuffed cheese bread. Oh, it's so good. Sometimes it's
I
really
don't like the stuffed cheese. I don't like their stuffed breads.
oh, okay. I think it's pretty good. Like sometimes though, like is that like because it's pretty spicy. It's surprisingly spicy for like pickled jalapenos, but sometimes I'll also get like they have like a feta and spinach stuffed cheesy bread, which is also really good. And I'll get that sometimes because it's milder every once in a while.
And if I'm not feeling a pizza, one thing I like about Domino's is that bread bowl pasta.
Yeah,
Like if I want to carb out, that's how I carb out.
yeah, it's good.
Um,
It's good.
but if I'm not feeling a pizza, their subs are actually
Yeah,
their baked subs are actually pretty good.
they are. I've had like a couple of them. I think I remember my favorite one was their buffalo chicken sub was like my favorite.
Buffalo chicken is okay. I'm st- I'm still kind of a pansy about spicy things, so
Mm-hmm.
I have to like throw more ranch in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
I always have to order it without onions because I'm allergic to onions.
right. Their chicken parm,
Yeah, that one's good. That one is definitely
that
good.
that one's pretty good. Definitely have to order it without onions though.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, because they put onions on everything if you let them. But Domino's is pretty good, and then like you get like the 2 for $5 thing.
Mhm. They
Like you
changed
get,
that, did you know that?
yeah, it's 2 for $6 now.
Yeah, that makes me a little sad.
Eh.
Well, but the thing is that I noticed is that when they changed it 2 for 6, they added new items to that deal
Oh
that
yeah,
were
no,
like
you can get a salad. You can get a salad in that now.
yeah, well, also, I remember because they added like, they used to have, like, I've never ordered them because I wasn't interested in them, but they had, like, the crunchy chocolate cakes, right? But they never
The
had them Hmm?
Oh yeah, the lava cakes. Yeah, you
Yeah,
couldn't get those.
you couldn't
You
get
could.
those on the $5 deal, but when they upgraded to it being $6, it's like they added them to that deal now. And I'm still not like super interested in having them. Like I was like I never really cared, But I remember like when I was going through the deal list, I was like, oh, they added these to the list of like things you could get with this deal.
Oh, typically if I'm doing 2 for $5,
yeah,
I usually end up doing like 3 things, because like the medium pizza for Xavier,
right,
bread bowl pasta for me, and then the brookie, the cookie brownie. That thing is killer,
dude. The cookie brownie's like I love it. It's like it's not good how good it is.
It's
like it's like a bad thing. It's a bad thing how delicious that is. Like it's not a like it's like I love.
And everybody who's listening to this podcast now is going to Domino's to order a cookie brownie.
We just unintentionally did sexy anime pizza part 2.
Yeah, because you talked about anime and now we're talking about pizza.
Yeah.
Deja vu.
God damn you, sexy anime pizza! Why are you so good? But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It still kind of like goes into like what we were talking about, which is like, you know, like, because I thought it was really fascinating because like across this week, I just kind of had this realization that I was more suggestible than I thought I was, you know?
Everybody's more suggestible than they think they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to give up and learn to love the bomb.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's because it's like, I don't know, like when I used to think about it before, I used to always say to myself, like, I don't go out and buy these products all the time. Like I hear about them all the time, but I don't go out and buy them, you know? So therefore I can't be that suggestible. But then, like, I think about, like, what we were just saying, where it's like, well, when it's in tune with you, like, it makes sense. It's just a logical part of your thinking. And
so
it's just...
So you've been asked to buy... So the advertisement asks you to buy this product.
Yeah.
And then you're like, huh, maybe I should buy this product. And then the other part of your brain is, with what money?
Yeah, that's a part of it, too.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, right. And a lot of people have that. Like, a lot of people see... you know, the advertisement for Taco Bell for dinner.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh man, I definitely would love to get some chalupas and some Baja Blast. But then
I love how enthusiastic you are about Baja Blast.
Dude, Baja Blast is the only reason I I've Taco Bell.
I used to have friends that felt the exact same way. They're like, go, bro, let's go to Taco Bell, get some Baja Blast. Like, and they used to say it that way too, like always, like it would roll off their tongue.
The king of the hill, Baja Blast.
Baja Blast. Baja Blast.
Yeah. But yeah, like if it wasn't specifically for Baja Blast and like another soda flavor that you can get there, like the Lipton teas, like the Lipton brisk teas.
Yeah, those are too sugary for me, but I do know what you mean.
I mean, yeah, but I don't have necessarily the same issues you do.
That's okay, man. Not very many people do. I'm a weirdo. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm first of all, like, I'm sorry for nearly killing you. this time with toe funk.
That bacon soda was a special kind of terrible, but you do know I have one more soda that I have to get through that I'm not looking forward to.
Oh, I know. I honestly think you should have already drunken that one already.
I've been taking some time off from sodas to mentally prepare myself for it.
I do not blame you, because this one is going to burn your butthole.
Oh God. Maybe. I don't even know what to expect. I don't know what to expect from it. Like
carbonated cayenne pepper sauce.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, because I mean, like, do you think it's going to be sour? Like, think about it, because it's so, for anybody who wants to know, I don't mind spoiling it, because you know what? If you're 50 minutes into this podcast, you deserve to know this. You've earned it.
Everybody knows what it is. Everybody knows what that last one is, because you've already showed the bottles, and everybody who is listening to this podcast probably already watched all those videos at least twice and probably pleasured themselves to them.
Well, the last one is chicken buffalo wing flavored soda. So I literally have no idea what to expect from it. I really don't. And I'm a little
so it says chicken, it says buffalo chicken wing sauce.
Yeah.
So it actually says sauce there.
Okay. See, are you trying to like comfort me by saying, "See, it's not going to be chicken flavored"?
So they're not going to bother to try to mimic chicken.
You know what they should do? They should just go ahead and just carbonate chicken broth. Like, I mean, they've done all these other wild ass flavors already. Just go ahead and listen, Lester. Listen here, asshole. Just go ahead and just carbonate some goddamn chicken stock, okay? Just go for it. You might as well at this point.
Okay. So it's just the sauce. So basically, they're just going to carbonate cayenne pepper sauce. They take a bottle of Texas Pete and they inject carbonated water into it.
But I mean, like, it's got to be sour, right? Because it's like it's vinegar based, right? It's got to be. So,
I mean,
it'll be like sweet and sour.
No, it's not going to be sweet at all.
It's gonna be sweet. It's made with. It even advertises on the bottle that it's made with goddamn cane sugar. It's gonna be sweet.
I guess. Oh, that's probably it'd probably be better for you if it was just carbonated heat.
like it's like they made like a carbonated V8, like, you know, like the V8s that are like black peppered V8 drink. Have you ever had those? Just like take one of those and carbonate it.
Like no, like because like hot sauce,
Campbell's soup.
It's like hot sauce is like cayenne pepper pepper puree.
Yeah, man.
Plus vinegar, plus you hope butter.
Oh God.
Hey, it might have some butter in it.
The corn soda tasted buttery, and it was actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good.
For my bet was that it was going to taste like, you know, honeycombs or like corn pops.
Yeah.
Like the breakfast cereal. Uh-huh. But then you're like, no, this tastes like boiled corn. And I'm like, okay, well that's number two. That was the second idea. It's like they somehow get the flavor of boiled corn extracted into a soda.
Yeah, it actually did taste like corn. Like, it's out of all the sodas that I've had from the collection, that is the one soda that actually tastes like what it says on the bottle.
Yeah.
I was legitimately surprised by it.
Yeah, so like my only hope for you on the buffalo sauce is that it isn't like legitimately like some carbonated water with Texas Pete dashed into it. Like it's a club soda with Texas Pete in it. Because that might qualify as a hot sauce. Because that might qualify as buffalo wing sauce soda.
I wonder if I should try to like actually like pour it on like my chicken. Like I'll get some chicken nuggies. And just,
do you really want to ruin? Do you really want to ruin another set of chicken nuggies like you did with the ranch? Because those are sacred. Because those are sacred chicken nuggies. I told my fiance about that, and she got offended.
Well, this time around, I got chicken strips, so we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll try recording that tomorrow. Well, actually, I'll probably be too busy tomorrow. Because tomorrow I will be recording not recording, but I will be editing what we are doing right now. So I probably won't have time to record tomorrow. But
no. Also, you've got to get to your mailbox at some point in the next couple of days.
That's true.
You've got a lot of crap coming into your box.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like it. It seems that that I have a lot of interesting new things coming my way, and I'm a little excited about it. I'm a tad bit stoked. Tad bit stoked.
I mean, people who watch your stream already know what it is,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
those people who don't attend your stream, I guess, uh, if you enjoy watching Mr. Habanero torture himself, you're not going to like these upcoming videos because they're not going to be torture. They're going to be pleasant.
God, I hope so. I need it. After these goddamn sodas. I need a vacation. I need a Flavor Town vacation.
Well, it's coming.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I will admit the thing is though is that like it has been fun doing these videos. I've been having a great time. I've been belting out content. I've been like in a content creation mood, and I know I'm slowing down right now. I'm kind of like, I'll admit guys, I didn't really do anything. I didn't do much yesterday. I put out like one video yesterday, and then I didn't put out anything today, but it's because I'm trying to like slow down and take it easy because I'm feeling a little bit of content
Burnout.
creation fatigue right now.
A little bit of burnout.
Yeah, just a wee bit, a wee bit. Also, Inscription has been kicking the ever loving shit out of me lately, so I've been kind of like slowing down on Inscription. Um, but I still love it. I'm not quitting it. I still love it. It's just I just gotta slow down a little bit because it's I've been doing spoiler alert, I beat challenge mode 10, and that royally kicked my ass for like days, like a couple of days, like 2 or 3 days working on it, and that game whooped my ass so bad. And I think I tried challenge mode 11 like 2 times, and I was like, no, no, I can't, no more, please, have mercy.
I'm still on challenge mode 4.
Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty deep into it. Like
Like
that's
like
pretty
I
deep.
think something finally I think something finally clicked
Hmm.
because I noticed like I did like 1, 2, and 3 bet like in succession.
Yeah.
So that was a nice feeling to
Nice.
know
Nice.
something clicked. I think I'm now like an expert in the card system,
Very nice. Very nice.
but
I
part of
mean,
me part of me wants to see a community mod for the game
yeah.
where we could like build our own maps and possibly mod our own cards.
Hmm. Yeah, I would definitely love to see like a mod for the game that's centered more around like deck building and like an endless mode. And like I think what would be really cool is like if they did a thing where like I don't know. I mean, I guess it's kind of true already. Like, you remember how like you and me were discussing how we kind of wish that Act Two would have been like longer and just kept going and stuff like that, where it was more centered around like collecting the cards and deck building and modifying it to your own particular tastes or whatever. Um, I would love to see like an endless mode that's designed like that, where you just kind of go on forever, like battle after battle, with the difficulty keep on ramping up as you keep winning. But you get to really just kind of like modify the deck to your own comfort and still have like all the stuff, like because in part 3 of the game there wasn't really very much of the like modifying the cards with more sigils or like combining cards or stuff like that, so I would still
You know,
like to see.
the third act had modifying your cards with your own sigils.
Did they?
Uh, yeah, yeah. That was the only way to like really build a good deck in Act 3.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking about Act 2. Like, I'm talking
Oh,
about
Act
Act 2,
2.
not the robot part. I meant, like, the one where it's, like,
Oh,
a pixelated world. What I'm
oh,
saying is
okay.
I wanted to see, like, an endless mode of, like, Act 2. but like add in like the card modifications that they had in like Act 1, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, or just like it doesn't even have to be an endless mode.
Yeah.
But give us like a large map, kind of like Chandelar,
Yeah.
that's randomly generated, but
Yeah.
has things like caves or dungeons where your reward is, you get to Mycosynth a card. Your reward is, one of 5 cards instead of one of 3.
Mhm.
Stuff like that. Put rare cards at behind a dungeon where you
Yeah.
where you fight like 2 things and a boss,
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
and then the boss gives you like any rare card or something like that.
Mhm. I do
Because
really
you could,
hope that the creator of the game kind of like ends up doing another like expansion or something. That would be amazing.
yeah, because I would love, actually, the Chandlar mode could get you kind of like where I wanted to go, where you could like really concentrate on the deck building aspect.
Yeah, that'd be
Like
really fun.
if Casey's mod was, I think if Casey's mod was about 2 maps longer.
Yes, sometimes it feels like it's too short. I've definitely felt like that a few
Like
times going through
I
it.
felt I feel like Casey's mod, if there was 2 more pages, you could probably get your deck back down, like, cuz over the course of the game, even if you're really careful, your deck explodes to like 9 cards.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, you're very cognizant of the fact that your deck is too big.
Mhm.
So you look for ways to pare it down.
Yeah, yeah.
But by that time, you only have like 3 shots to pare your cards down,
Mhm.
and some of the choices are not very good.
Mhm.
Like, because you get the stones, because when you realize your deck's at 8 and you really want it to be that, or 9, you really want it to be back down to 6.
Yeah.
You have, like, it presents you with the stones, but the problem is like you were already pretty sigilling yourself up,
Mhm. Mhm.
and if your card has blue sigils on them, you can't touch it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't use the stones to move sigils.
What really sucks, I like you've probably had to deal with this a few times, but it drives me insane is when you're in the beginning of the game, like the first map or two, and they force you into situations like where it's like an ultimatum where they're like, nope, you gotta sigil something, you have to do it, and you're like, I want to save these cards for
Oh,
good
yeah, no.
sigils, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
they're like,
no.
nope.
No, map 1. Like a lot of the, like, because if you've been playing long enough, you realize, like, there's map 1, which very often stays in a single path
Yeah,
past your first 2 fights.
yeah,
And they're like, and one of them is a stones, and you're like, okay, thankful. Like, if you're playing the vanilla deck, you're like, okay, I guess I could sigil my bullfrog into my stoat.
yeah, exactly.
Which, to be perfectly honest, like, that's kind of my go-to, like, first move.
Sure. I mean,
And,
it's like giving up.
a lot of the times,
It's at that point,
because,
it's just deck thinning. It's just deck
yeah,
thinning.
yeah, it's deck thinning, because you picked up because you turned your pelts into 2 random cards, and if you're lucky, one of those cards is good.
Yeah.
Uh, but the thing is like, you typically have like a card with a good ability. You just don't have a good card to put that ability on.
Yeah.
So, like, the first time you get a chance to go into stones, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna sigil my stoat and be done with it.
Another thing that drives me insane sometimes is when you get when you get the jar of failure who will copy one of your cards, and then you're like, yes, I can make a copy of my best card, and then
Oh,
right after it,
I like Gooby.
no, I do too, but like, hear me out. So like, you get him, and you're like, yes, I get to make a copy of like one of my best cards, and then right afterwards is the
You run
goddamn
into
mycologist.
Yeah, you run right into the mycologist, and that's your only dupe. And those are your
Yeah.
only dupe.
And you're like, God damn it.
So like I like what the mycologists do. The mycologist builds you good cards.
Yeah, he does. I know.
Like the mycologist turns any card that you have a duplicate into a winner.
Yeah.
Like there's no such thing as a card that that you give to the mycologist and it gets worse and it isn't something that if you can cast it on turn one you win the game.
Well, the one thing, the reason why I get upset with the mycologist is when I want to like double sigil something. So, like for example, like if I wanted to put um, an undying sigil on a Gek, and then make a copy, like get one Gek, make a copy of it so that they're both blank, put an undying sigil on one of them, and then put like say I don't know beehive on the other one and then try to make your way to the mycologist to get a double sigiled Gek. You know what I mean? But like if you run into the mycologist too early, then that's moot. Like it doesn't matter because it's just going to forcefully combine your cards anyways. So like I
Yeah.
mean, the mycologist is great when it's like, you know, deck thinning. Like sure. But like there are times where it's like, "Oh, I have like these two rare cards. They both are clean, like they don't have any sigils added onto them yet." And like I have an idea for a combo that I could pull off if I get it just right. And then you're like, no, I run into the mycologist way too early. And that just, you know, decided that my combo was not going to exist anymore. Like I've done that a couple of times and it's just like feels bad, man. But you know, at that point it's just like, you know, like you kind of just have to go with it, you know, because they're just going to force it on you. I had one run that I remember where they forcefully, like, not only do they force a mycologist on you, but they doubled it up. So like you would hit the mycologist
You hit the
and then hit the
mycologist,
mycologist again.
again. Yeah, no, I've seen ramps like that. Knowing that that's a possibility, knowing that mycologists are just like at the worst, your early mycologist is getting rid of your crap card for your mech card to
Yeah.
make to make a card.
Yeah.
Um.
I like it when it's like it's going to target like cards that I don't care about, you know, like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
okay with that. It's when it's like, oh, the only two cards that you have copies of are rares and you were planning to do something creative with them. Not anymore, bitch.
Yeah. No. But knowing knowing how powerful the mycologists are, I actually like if so in my decision tree, but like when I have a choice of cards, my decision tree is okay. You know, I look for abilities and sigils that are good, and then I look for, and then if not, then I look for dupes.
Right.
Because if I get like a dupe of like something that's 2 cost, because a lot of your generic 2 cost cards, if they get duplicated, they're a if you can cast this on turn one, you win card.
Yeah. Double cost is always like where you want to be winning. Like that's usually how
Yeah.
you should feel when you're casting a double cost. But yeah, so I got an interesting thing that I've been doing recently through some of my most recent runs on Inscription. Do you ever purposely try to lose on the Cave Master? Because I do. The cave, the guy in the cave who gives you like a pre-sigiled card. Sometimes I try to like like he's like pick the one that's going to allow you to win, and he gives you 3 choices. Sometimes I will purposely pick the one that I know will guarantee me a loss.
Because you just don't want the card.
Yeah, because I don't want to take up more space with like another card that I might barely ever use because the deck is already too large.
I wish the maps gave you more bone altars.
Yeah, yeah, the Bone Lord. Those are like I love those spaces. Those are the best. Like I mean, yeah, for sure. I know exactly what you mean.
Because I've not done the Cave Master fail.
Yeah.
Only because I value cards with sigils. Like
yeah.
you can't mysterious stone them because they come with a blue sigil.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, like if it's a reasonable card that I think I might be able to grab a dupe of later. Right. I'm not upset.
Well, sometimes I kind of like, sometimes in my mind, the Cave Master is like free parking. It's just a safe space where nothing has to happen. Like, I don't have to gain anything or lose anything. And compared to the space of where I might have to go otherwise, free parking can be a benefit. Because it's like, oh, well, like, I can either go to the Cave Master and gain nothing, or I can go to the Pelt Trader. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, weighed down with pelts, like, against my will. So it just kind of depends,
Team pelts.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny because I actually used to like pelts and now I hate them.
They're a trap.
Yeah, they are. Because they force them on you. You're not allowed to not take at least one pelt. That's the worst part about it.
Yeah, and he gives you. I mean, rabbit pelts have such low return of investment.
Yeah.
I wish there was a. We should be able to sacrifice pelts, not for blood but for bone.
Yeah, they count as non-sacrifice cards.
Yeah, they're a non-sacrifice. They're a non-sacrificial card, and sometimes I'm just like, I'd rather just cycle this for a bone.
Yeah, or like you know what is they should let you have the hammer, because the hammer would probably be able to do it. Because remember, the hammer, like, when it's talking about like no sacrifice, that's specifically for the purpose of like blood. So like the hammer in Act 2 can bust anything. You can blow up anything with the hammer, and that's why the hammer was so powerful. So like
the hammer. Oh yeah, I found out the hammer is in part 3. In part 3, but it's the board is so dark that you never see it until you accidentally click it once. You're like, what am I holding on to? Oh, hammer. Oh.
Yeah, I think the hammer was in part 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I originally thought it wasn't.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, because I remember using it a few times. But yeah, the hammer not being in part 1 is such a detriment because you could probably blow up pelts with a hammer, and like I would literally rather just put them on the board and then get rid of them than have them. Like, the only time that I would ever want to have pelts in my hand is if I'm playing hand tentacle. Like,
Yeah. The problem is like I can see a world where hammer, like I could see decks where hammer becomes incredibly, like, insanely busted.
It's because it's a busted mechanic. Like when they introduce like hammer in part 2, you're like, wait, I can sacrifice anything for free, like whenever I want,
and I get a bone. Like, it's like I don't get blood, but I get a bone.
Yeah, it's so good. Like,
I chose necromancer.
Yeah.
Happy day.
Yeah.
I always start necromancer when I go through Act 2.
Yeah, necromancer was my favorite. I originally, when I played through part 2, I originally picked necromancer because I thought necromancy is cool, and I still think necromancy is cool. But then I realized it's just like one of the most powerful like groups of cards in the entire game. So it was like convenient,
Yeah, no, because it gives you like because gravediggers give you a bone a turn.
Yeah.
You put 2, and they have a 3 butt, so they can block some things.
Yeah. The Spore Digger's even better. Do you remember the Spore Digger?
Oh yeah, the 6th.
It gives you 2 bones every turn for the same
2
price.
Bones. Man, I wish I wish the mycologist did that in Casey's mod.
Yeah.
Like if a card had the same sigil, if both cards had the same sigil on it,
they would get double.
They would get the sigil doubled.
Yeah. Because like they also ask, like, if I remember correctly, they ask for field mice. So like if you give them 2 field mice, you get
double fecundity.
Double fecundity. It's stupid. It's so stupid. It's absolutely inappropriate. Like it's like, you know what's more broken than fecundity? Double fecundity.
What's broken? You know what's more broken than double fecundity? Double blue mage.
Ugh, gross. Yeah, I didn't really play with the Moxen or anything very much, but yeah.
I mean, that's how you break Ouroboros in Act 2.
Yeah, I never played with Ouroboros. I did a run in Casey's mod where I got my Ouroboros to 6/6 and it still failed me because Ouroboros is not a good card.
I got it to 13/13 and every time I drew it I won.
In Casey's?
In Casey's, I got it to 13/13.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like I forgot what the combo was, but so it was, I had lizard. I had lizard 3 blood.
Lizard? So are you talking about the salamander, like the one that removes its tail or something?
No. So you have the 4 tribes of cards: wolf, antler.
Oh, you're talking about totems. You're talking about reptile totem. Okay.
So I had the reptile totem. And Ouroboros is a reptile.
Yeah.
So basically, it was.
Did you get it with Corpse Eater?
Well, no, okay. I didn't get it with Corpse Eater. But I had a couple of really, I had some really cheap I had something free and something cheap, and I was able just to cycle through the Ouroboros so many times it wasn't funny. Wait a second, no, there was a cockroach with bees.
Cockroach is like my favorite. I want to say cockroach is like my favorite card.
So it was like cockroach with bees. So like I was just like casting Ouroboros like so many different times.
Yeah.
So I got it up to a 13/13, and every time I drew it, it's a 13/13. It just won.
Yeah. I showed you that picture of that insane cockroach that I built that had so I know it had the bone ability. So like you could so whenever it died, it would gain 4 bones, which is the same as its cost. So you could repeatedly cast it over and over again. And then it also had Huh?
I said free roach.
Yeah, so like that's my favorite ability to put. Like you get like a rat king and you sack it to a cockroach, and then you have like an infinite cockroach. And then I also gave it magpie. So like it was also flying and search your deck. So like if you can get it out on the battlefield, you'd be able to like
draw your entire deck.
Yeah, literally draw your entire deck. And
the only thing you need is something that with Undying with 1 blood, so that you could always sacrifice the cockroach.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because that's the only thing you're missing there is something else with Undying that costs 1.
Yeah.
That you can just cycle through.
And it had a 4th ability, but I can't remember what the 4th ability was. It wasn't Corpse Eater, sadly, because that would have been really cool. But
I think it was Dam Builder.
That might have been it, or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But
actually, we could look this up.
Oh, that's right. It's on Discord, huh?
Yeah. It's here. Your cockroach had flying.
Oh, I guess it was only 3 sigils. I thought it was like 4 sigils. Okay, so yeah.
Well, I mean, it's got innate ability plus 3 sigils.
Yeah, so it's classic Undying. It was a 2/6 with like 4. Like whenever it would die, it would gain like 4 bones, which means you could cast it over and over again. And then it had flying and deck search. So it was just a absolutely nutso busted cockroach. And the best part, I still lost. I still lost that freaking goddamn run. It made me so mad because that was the most busted cockroach I've ever made, and I was so angry that I lost that.
I mean, I finally beat Challenge 1 with an Undying Fecund Manus God that was a 6/10.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That was dumb.
So, to kind of change it up a little bit, you know what I was thinking about is I really want to, and this might be the next game I try to get into. I really kind of want to try out that Voice of the Cards game that you got me. I'm like, I haven't tried playing it yet, and I was really stoked about it when it was first released, and especially because I'm still coming down off of the hype of Inscription. Um, I think that Voice of the Cards might be the next big game I get into. Um, but I mean, I remember like I was more hyped about it than you were, but like, did you see any like promise to it when we were talking about it before?
I mean, I played the demo. It was okay.
Okay. I didn't actually, even though I downloaded the demo, I didn't actually try it yet.
It's basically a turn-based RPG, but the characters are cards.
Did they have any like snappy creative mechanics like Inscription or
No.
no?
No,
That's
you are basically a character on a card, and that character is a generic RPG character. This isn't. It's not a card battling system. It's a aesthetic choice for
so
a.
it's like an RPG that happens to be cards.
Yeah, like it's like so you know how a lot of tabletop RPGs have miniatures and stuff like that and a map.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's that except for your map and miniatures are cards.
Interesting. I'll still try it out. Like I mean, it doesn't sound like it does. Like I mean, it doesn't sound like Inscription.
No,
But
no, it's not Inscription. It's a Final Fantasy RPG.
okay. I still want to try it though. I don't know. It's just I remember watching the preview and I was like, "Oh, that looks so cool!" Like I still kind of want to try it. So, but here's another thing too that I only just now kind of thought about. Triangle Strategy is out. I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't heard anybody talking about it at all. Do you think that's a good
It's
thing or a bad thing?
it's not out yet.
I thought it was. Isn't it out? Isn't Wait a minute. I thought Triangle
Oh,
Strategy is out. It's only out on the Nintendo Switch though, right?
oh yeah, no. But I didn't think that came out till next week.
I thought it's already out. Are you sure?
I mean, the demo's been out forever.
Let me I got it. I got it now. I'm going to look it up just real quick cuz I thought it came out. I thought it was officially released. Let me check.
No,
Yeah, it
it
came
came out
out.
last month. It came
Yeah,
out this
that's
month.
what.
Oh, next week is Chrono Cross.
Okay. So I was right. It was released. It was released on March 4th, 2022. And I remember that when it was announced and people were like, when it first came out and it was like, it's now officially out on the Nintendo Switch, everybody was like, yes, finally, let's go. Triangle Strategy, let's go. And then after that, dead silence. I haven't heard anybody talk about this game since it was released at all.
Not for nothing, but it came out like a week after Elden Ring.
Uh,
So that's kind of what
yeah.
happened. That Elden Ring is a thing.
Is Elden Ring on the Switch?
No, but whatever.
Okay.
Elden Ring is a thing, and that's eating up a lot of the prominent discourse.
Yeah.
The fact that it's a Switch only game has really hurt it. And to be perfectly
They
honest,
shouldn't have done that. I don't think
and to
I
be per-
think they should have released on Steam too, but I understand why they did what they did.
well, Nintendo paid for it.
Yeah.
This game doesn't come out. This game doesn't come out at all. Or
Mhm.
the game series Octopath and Triangle Strategy, neither one of them come out if Nintendo doesn't front the doesn't pay for a lot of the development. But like Traveler had the same kind of like pre-game hype, kind of like with Bravely Default 2,
Oh,
and then
I love the first Bravely Default game.
Bruh.
well
Love that game.
yeah, Bravely Default and then Bravely Default 2 came out. But I mean, there's Switch exclusives.
Yeah.
They kind of uh fell they kind of just like fell in a really weird release cycle. They had a lot of pre-release hype and
Yeah.
then not a lot of post-release hype.
I'll be honest,
And
at this point I feel like that like these games specifically like Octopath Traveler, Triangle Strategy, Bravely Default, whatever. Like I almost want to say that being Nintendo exclusives for the first, what is it, like year or two, it's it's got to be hurting them more than doing good at this point. Like it just doesn't, like it doesn't seem like it's healthy for them at this point anymore, you know?
I again, like Nintendo's flipping the bill.
Yeah.
So making these games as a free roll, especially since it's only like a timed exclusive for a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like so they get to make the game and then they get to port then they get to port out like after then they get to silently work on a port and
Mhm.
slowly work on a port for about a year or so
Yeah.
and then collect free money when the game goes to Steam.
That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, it's the thing is though is that they have to be able to like you said, they have to be able to survive, through like the Elden Ring hype and all that and whatever else they have to go through. I will say this.
It's Square Enix. I don't
Yeah.
think they have a problem.
Yeah, well it's just that like, it just feels like that it's like, listen, like this particular brand, like I mean not it's not specifically Square Enix, it's like because it's like a division of Square Enix, right? So like
It's developed. It's a division of Square Enix and co-developed by a company called ArtDink,
yeah. Well, it's just like
uh, and published internationally by Nintendo.
yeah.
So, like Nintendo is flipping this bill to make it an uh, international Switch exclusive,
Yeah, yeah.
and Square's like, okay, like that that just means we really don't have to market this game at all.
That's true. Yeah, I guess it just works out fine, I guess. It's
Yeah,
I just want to play it so bad. I want to play it.
yeah,
When it comes out, I will be going so hard on that game. Like I
yeah.
will go
It'll
so
come
hard
out.
on it.
It'll in about a year. It'll come out on all platforms. It'll quietly release. You'll be like next, not this upcoming summer, but summer after that. You'll be
Yeah.
perusing the summer sales, and you're like, when did when did Triangle Strategy come out on Steam?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on sale. Grab it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's how I picked up Octopath Traveler. I didn't realize it existed on Steam until they were like, "Hey, did you know that Octopath Traveler is on sale on Steam?" And I'm like, "Well, I do now." Like, I do now. And I picked it up and I got it for pretty cheap. If I remember correctly, I got it for like $30, I think. I think that's what I got it for.
Yeah,
And
that's not bad.
I still haven't played it, which is like,
Lol.
yeah, I know. Well, because it's like I don't know. Like I always run into this problem when it comes to games. Is like I always have to decide: do I want to play this on my own, or do I want to play it on stream? And a lot of the time, like the majority of the time, it's like I want to play it on stream. But then like I have a hard time of figuring out like, okay, well, is it gonna like be okay to be streaming this? Like, is it gonna, am I gonna is the audience gonna be entertained? Like, am I gonna be entertained? Like, is it worth the time? And I don't know. When it comes to stuff like especially like Octopath Traveler, like that's a dedication, man. It ain't like Phasmophobia or Inscription where you can just randomly pull out and be like, I'm done with this game. It's got like a whole story that it wants to tell, and like you have to make
Yeah,
sure that you dedicate all your time to like letting it tell the story that it wants to tell and all that. And that's difficult, man. Whereas versus like, like I play short horror games, which are like, like you can go through a short horror game experience in like a day or two, or like I said, like Phasmophobia or Inscription, like it's just a fun time with friends or whatever, and then you dip out. But like Octopath Traveler, like you're gonna spend like at least a week, like at the very
yeah,
least a week,
yeah.
like trying to get
Like
through that game. you
Like, you
know?
tried streaming Fellsill Arbiter's Mark?
Yeah, that was hard to stream because I like, and the worst part was like I had to put all my to get good at that game. I had to focus so hard on playing. I
Yeah,
didn't.
that's not that is not a like if you pre-warn the audience, hey, this isn't going to be something that I'm going to end up interacting with you guys.
Yeah,
So you're basically going to watch me play, and I might make commentary, but I'm not interacting with the chat. So toodles.
yeah,
The problem is, I think with your audience wouldn't appreciate that very much.
yeah. Well, I mean, for example, recently my audience has been joking around with me all lightheartedly. It's not mean or anything. They've been joking around with me like, "Oh, you're actually deciding to pay attention to us for once." And I'm like, "Yes, yes, I know. I'm working on it. Like I've been doing a better job on it. I know. I'm trying to hang out with you guys." So, and I mean that is something that I try to keep in mind when I'm streaming is like I want to actually like interact with them and let them be a part of what I'm doing, and it's difficult. Like it's difficult, like first of all it's just difficult period to do that, when you're streaming. But also like finding games that are appropriate for like really being able to do that is also difficult. Like I try my best, but like, if I'm playing like a game that is very focus intensive, it's very difficult to focus on chat. Like it's just
If you
that's
had
just
if you had two monitors, it'd be a lot easier.
You're probably right. That's also something I was talking with my father about that today, who he gave me a call today. Um he actually boosted my ego today. I felt really good about this. He called me for advice about sound quality and sound editing. And I was like, "Oh, you called me for that advice?" And he's like, "Yeah, because you know more about it than I do." And I was like,
Hey, look at
"Oh."
hey, look at you.
It's like I actually know how to do something that my dad, who's mega, mega way smarter than I am, and he's coming to me for advice on something. Whoa.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was talking with my dad and I was like, yeah, I need to kind of like upgrade into a double monitor setup. And I don't know like when I'm going to do it or when I'm going to be able to. I mean, I could probably safely buy like a secondary monitor like right now if I really wanted to, but I always kind of have like I always kind of get all up in my head about whether or not I should do it. So, I don't know. Maybe you know what? Let us send me some like monitor recommendations that you personally would approve of. And that might help me, you know, jump in a little bit on that.
Let's take this discussion offline.
Yeah, we will. We will.
Okay, because there's like a series of 5 or 6 questions,
Yeah.
and then I'm just like, okay, uh, like here's what you have. This is what you could drive.
Right.
Because that's pretty much it. Like, do you know what your graphics card is right now?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna need to take this offline.
That's fine.
But anyway,
That's why I
speaking
said
of
like you and I will talk about it and you can give me recommendations, and if I have like a good
yeah,
concept of what I'm trying to do, that might help me make the decision a little bit easier.
yeah. But speaking of waning interest in games,
Yeah.
E3 2022 has been canceled.
Yeah, it's dunzos.
It's dead.
Yeah. We're all dancing on their grave.
I I did a little jig. I did the no pants on dance
Mhm.
on top of E3's grave.
And it's so
Uh
funny because we knew it was gonna die. Like, you and I, we knew it. Like, and we were
like
just like,
yeah,
just let it die. It's
I,
fine,
well,
guys. It's
let's let
okay."
let's be honest. Everybody saw it circling the drain.
Yeah. Like, it's okay,
Um,
just like what I was talking about earlier with, like, that game that I was so nostalgic over, it's like, sometimes, like, things like this need to die. It's okay.
yeah. But here's the ironic thing. Last year they hold one after
Yeah.
they canceled because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
They hold one like they hold a virtual one during the pandemic, and it was kind of one of the crappier, like most E3s where there's not like a hardware reveal
Uh-huh.
are for the most part lame.
Right.
But this was like everybody was like, yeah, everything's kind of weird, still weird because we're still recovering from the 8 months everybody spent like very
Holed up
minimal
in their house.
everybody spent holed up in their house,
Yeah.
like being very minimally productive, because we as a culture don't know how to work from home properly. um I mean that it affects Japan as much as it affected America,
Mm-hmm.
like, so that was the one thing. And then so like we're supposedly on the other side of that pandemic now.
Right. Right.
I just It's either that or there's something else to scare us about, like, I don't know, pending World War III. Um, so we're on the other side of it, and there's been about a year or two to kind of adjust to the new paradigm of working from home and everything. And
Uh-huh.
games are coming out, like they're starting to come. The back half of 2022 is supposed to be loaded, except for a lot of things are being pushed out to 2023 now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Rips Rip Zelda.
I'm telling you, Power World is coming, bro. Ready up your buns. It's coming.
Not this year, it's not.
It'll be
Uh,
here. It's coming. It's coming,
I,
man. Power World. It's gonna happen. It's
oh,
gonna
dude,
happen, man.
if it happens, I'll be playing Power World with you nonstop.
Dude, yes,
Like
let's go.
we're gonna be running around and slaving animals.
With our like M16s.
Yeah, we got some AKs. Just rolling. We're just gonna be rolling around on our abominations that we've bred.
On our
Just
Charizard Gyarados fusion.
yeah, on our Charizard Gyarados fusion.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Uh, the Pokemon, the noise the creature makes is kill me.
Got them all the Pikachus working in the sweatshop.
Yeah, got Leafians making our bullets for us. Uh,
My body is
we
so
see
ready. It's so beyond
we
ready.
we see a Bidoof and we just gut it down to the street. We
Curb
don't even
stop it. We curb stop it.
no, we don't even get out. We don't even get off of our abominations. We just like we see a Bidoof and we're just like a rat tat 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 tat. Uh, and then we're like, were we supposed to catch that? And I'm like, no, it's a Bidoof. I ain't twatting nothing with I'm not twatting something that lowly with my balls.
Oh man, I love me some good old Bidoof action though.
Yeah. Uh
Best Pokemon in Legend of Arceus, right? Please,
no.
please catch me, please. I want you. Please, Gojoji-sama, catch me.
Bidoof rolls up to you, turns around, presents.
Oh, Gojoji-sama, please touch my Bidoof booty.
Bidoof, my love hole.
He's got that little asterisk like booty, just like all up in
Yeah.
your business.
Yeah, it's just like, look at it. You want to put your ball in there?
Please slap me around with your big ultra ball, please.
Yeah, no. So E3 is dead.
Yes, it is.
Uh,
Oh
so
goodness gracious!
the thing is, that's not going to stop like Microsoft from doing a summer showcase type thing on
Well,
their own.
yeah, they're still gonna like do their own individual thing. Like they've been
Yeah.
doing that for a while now.
Nintendo will do a June July direct.
Sure.
Uh, Sony will just do their state of the play things that they always do.
Oh yeah, they still exist, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ubisoft will come out from the bushes and be like, Far Cry 7.
Wait, who are you? How'd you get here? Who let you in?
Yeah.
Get out of here! Like they pull out like a squirt bottle. Get out of here! But wait, Far Cry 7. No!
Hey bro, I hear you like Assassin's Creed.
What?
Said, hey bro, I hear you like Assassin's Creed.
Oh god. Uh, I mean, do they?
Cyberpunk Assassin's Creed. Let's
Mm,
go.
ugh, I'm so over it. I'm
Yeah,
so
no,
over it.
it's yeah. So I mean, like there'll still be things. It's just it won't be centered around one show. It won't be centered around one week.
Yeah, I think that's better. I think that's healthier for everybody. Like I
It
mean,
is
because
like it lets.
E3 is overwhelming, man. Like even just like as an informational intake, not necessarily as an event itself. Like
Yeah, no, it just because the thing is like there's some fairly good games that just get drowned
yeah,
because like uh the next God of War, you know, was also announced that day.
right. Well, it's
Like,
kind of like what we were talking about with Triangle Strategy versus Elden Ring. Like
yeah,
stuff like that would happen all the time at E3, and it's like you
yeah,
don't really
like
get a
you're
chance
like
to hear them all out. You know?
triangle strategy, and then the next day, Elden like From Software was like, yeah, our next game is going to be this like live service game that takes the Dark Souls approach that you love, but puts it in a fantasy setting that's being written by R.R. Martin, George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, yeah. I still want to know what
And
the
then,
lore
and
of
then
that game is. By the way, I don't understand it. I've watched so many playthroughs of Elden Ring, and I still have no idea what the fuck
Bruh.
is going on in that game,
it's
like
it's a
at
Dark
all.
Souls game. Let's face it, it's a Dark Souls game, man.
I
Dark
mean,
Souls.
but
I say that knowing full well, Dark Souls games have lore, but
yeah,
but does it really?
I
Like,
mean, I've seen some cohesive Dark Souls lore, like that, where it's like, I mean, not based on playing, because listen here, guys, I can't do Dark Souls style games. I'm sorry,
right? No,
I'm a
like
weak ass gamer, but that doesn't stop me from being fascinated by like the story that it's trying to tell. You know?
the problem is like I mean I've heard like renditions of the Dark Souls story,
Yeah.
and then I've seen people play Dark Souls, and I'm like there's some deep like the rendition I heard was like that there's some like deep lore stuff going on. You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, you've gotta really be paying attention here. So it's like so you have to stop playing the game
Hmm.
in order to get what the game is about.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
yep. I'm like, okay, so there's a universe there. So this is basically an established universe
Hmm.
for which you get to dodge roll around.
Hmm.
Okay, I mean, that's great. I mean, Star Wars has a universe too.
Ugh. Yeah. I don't like Star Wars. Um, but yeah, it's like, I mean, the only thing I really understand about Elden Ring is for some reason there's an obsession with trees. Like it seems like people worship trees or something. Like there's some thing about all the trees. Like a lot of the monsters are based on trees, and there's always giant trees everywhere, and like there's some kind of obsession with trees. So like that's
Well,
the majority of what I know about Elden Ring, is that
I
trees
mean,
are
I,
important to the story, and I don't fully understand that, but that's
I
what's
mean
going on.
the story is written some bit by George R. R. Martin, so we could just assume that the trees are wieners.
I mean, they are
Wiener,
freaking
wiener.
gigantic, and you know,
Yeah. Wiener, 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 wiener.
it's a good episode. I love that one.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I do want to know the lore of Elden Ring, because like like the thing that like whenever I watch people play it, I'm so taken in by like the beautiful world and like the fascinating monsters and like the engaging dialogue. But like despite all that, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Like, you know? But I want to know. I want to know.
Yeah, like it'd be great, but then I just realized it's a software game.
Yeah.
So it's a really polished combat system.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing is that they're all about the game, like the playability and the
Yeah.
mechanics, and I get that. But it's just like it's so beautiful. Like Elden Ring is such a beautiful game. Like it's just like I don't know. I just want to know. Like that's just what it comes down to. But yeah, man. But I don't. You know, I can't play that game. I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try. Like am I like Cinder Shadow told me that he wants to play the game, and I'm like, all right, man, you do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do it.
Yeah, like let him do it.
Yeah, like I
It'll be
don't.
fun. It'll be fun to watch him rage quit.
Yeah, like, like. But the thing is, too, is that like to go ahead and name drop again, Mike Hatcher wants to play Elden Ring. And like when he said it, I was like, listen, I've seen that man pull some bogus bullshit in Chandelar. Out of if he were to play Elden Ring, I think he could do it. Like I think he could do it. You know what I mean?
Possibly.
Yeah. So
Like it's just the game just really doesn't like those types of games like the spectacle fighters,
yeah.
like those don't really uh interest me that much. Like the combo attack system,
Yeah.
like it's got to like have a really nice hook for me to get that involved into it. And I say this as a person who the hook was apparently Disney whimsy.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Because I'll get down on some mother love and Kingdom Hearts.
Well, it seems like what I think is cool is that like it seems like you genuinely enjoy the gameplay, which is really cool. I know I was making fun of you a while ago that the story makes no goddamn sense, but
And
it's also very
I,
apparent to me that you are aware of that.
I'm like I'm aware. Like no, anybody who's spent any time dealing with Kingdom Hearts
Yeah.
realizes that nobody intended that game to be more than a one and done.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was just not anything anybody considered.
Oh man. I loved those videos that you sent me that tried to explain the story. They genuinely made me laugh.
Well, no, that's the cool thing about it is the Kingdom Hearts, like the Kingdom Hearts universe has just left itself wide open to be just like incessantly memed upon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And all the memes are just mwah.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. Um, and we did talk about that a little bit. I even remember I put the meme in that one episode at the very end with the "Go Blue Eyes White Dragon," which actually made me laugh once I understood the reference you were making.
Come forth, blue eyes, white dragon.
That's not how that works. Oh God! Oh man. All right. Well, you know what? This was a fun talk, but I think we should probably wrap this one up before we get into the sketchy 2 hour mark.
Yep, yep. That's a special occasion thing only, ladies.
That's kind of hot. What are you doing, step uncle? It's like my new favorite.
Gross.
Step uncle.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna end it off here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say all the wonderful things, which is first of all, thank you guys for listening to us. We greatly appreciate that. all of you wonderful, wonderful, lovely fans who are kind enough to let me know that you guys are genuinely enjoying this podcast. Seriously, this one goes out to you guys. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it when you guys contact me or tell me personally.
Mr. Local Celebrity.
Yeah, apparently so. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but that was very nice. Having a couple of wonderful fans who tell me personally that they genuinely enjoy listening to this podcast. This one goes out to you guys. You know who you are. Thank you so much.
That was a very wholesome story.
Yeah. And so I'm going to say all the wonderful things, which is if you haven't already, smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Ring-a-ding that wonderful bell so you always know when I'm going to be posting videos or doing streams. And check in the description below for all the wonderful links such as PayPal and Streamlabs. All donations are greatly, genuinely appreciated. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about the podcast or whatever the hell you want to talk about. Tell us about what you think of awkward Mr. Stepuncle coming over to the dryer and lubing us up. We'd greatly appreciate to know your opinion on that. So leave that in the comments down below. And a wonderful shout out to the amazing Patreon members, which include Bo Falcon, Fajuk Enterprises, James P, the lovely Miss Rebecca, as well as Scorpiogeist. You guys are genuinely greatly appreciated. So thank you for supporting me on a regular basis. And also check in the description below for the wonderful Teespring link. All the merchandise is worked on very hard by me, even though I haven't added the new designs yet because I'm still working on them. But the current ones are very awesome, and I'm very proud of them, so check them out. And in the description below as well, there will be a Discord link if you want to join the Discord, or also follow me on Twitter. Lettuce also is on Twitter, so you can follow him as well. And I think that's pretty much it. So other than that, we have been the Imaginary Boys. Take us away, Stepuncle.